You've met banana bread, pumpkin loaf, apple cake. Well, I would like to introduce you to their cousin, pear snacking cake with brown butter frosting. If you have really ripe pears, like this one is ripe and juicy, I find it easier to grate them, and they're going to kind of fall apart into a puree, and that's perfectly fine. Oops, and they're going to slip around. Pear cake, carrot cake, zucchini loaf. These are all basically the same cake recipe. The fruit or vegetable puree adds flavor, it helps with the structure, and it also makes the cakes really moist. This cake comes together like most cakes. You beat your butter, add some sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, and then you add your dry ingredients, flour, spices, baking soda, baking powder. Stop! And then you add your liquid ingredients, which in this case is the pear puree. You alternate them, and that way everything mixes very evenly. I'm also using some oats in this recipe and some nuts, and they add both texture and flavor. I have a greased pan right here, and I put a little bit of parchment paper on the bottom. It's just insurance that it's going to come out. And that's it. Now I'm going to bake it. While the cake is cooling, that's when you make the brown butter glaze. To make the glaze, you start with butter that you want to turn into brown butter. Okay, that bubbling, that's the moisture content of the butter cooking off. You could be across the room, and once you hear your butter get quiet, then you know that it's pretty much going to be done, because that's when the solids turn brown. You hear how it's quiet, right? No more bubbling? That means it's ready. Plus, you can smell it. It smells incredibly nutty. It smells so good. Some recipes for brown butter have you strain off the butter and leave those little brown bits on the bottom of the pan, but I don't do that because I love those little brown bits. They just add so much in terms of flavor. And then you can see the texture. It's about as thick as hot fudge sauce. And you want to pour it on the cake while it's still warm so that it can set up. A snacking cake like this one is the perfect thing to have on hand for, when your kids get home from school, they're a little bit hungry, they want something to eat, and you know what? Adults love it too.